Building an RV park takes work. I mean, a lot of work. If you don't want to waste your time building an RV park that nobody wants, you first need to determine if your land is feasible for an RV park. There are about 5 factors to determine if your land is ideal for an RV park. Factor number 1, location. You either have it or you don't. And it's difficult to determine exactly if you have the best location or not, but here are kind of a few characteristics. Is it along a major road or a highway? The easier it is to see and the easier it is to get to, the more likely people will want to go to that park. The more turns, the more further away it is from a major city, the harder and harder it gets for people to go to it, and the less likely they are willing to go to it. The next thing you need to ask yourself is, what is it close to? Is it close to grocery stores like H-E-B? Is it close to hardware stores like Home Depot? Is it close to amenities like rivers, lakes, or popular areas? A combination of what is it close to and how easy it is to get to will determine if your land is ideal for an RV park. Factor number 2, how are all the RV parks around you doing? First, if there's no RV parks near you, that's not a great sign at all, because that really determines if there's a need. If no one has built a park, it's probably because there really isn't a need. So that will really determine if there's even a need in the first place. That's not true in all cases, but it's a strong indicator. Now, if there are parks around you, how full are they? Are they 70 to 80% full all the time? Go look at the parks, give them a call to find out. If they're 50% or less full most of the time, then if you add a park, I don't know if the park is going to do as well as you like, so you may have to rethink the idea. Factor number 3, zoning, and it's important. The perfect location is no good if it's not allowed. So first talk with either the city if it's in the city limits or in the county if it's even allowed to build an RV park. Most of the time it's allowed to in the county. Cities, you kind of definitely need to check. Now, the next step is you need to see what kind of steps it takes to get permitted for an RV park and see what kind of work is involved. And over the last 5 years, RV park regulation has increased a lot, so you first need to see how much work is involved if you're allowed. Factor number 4, utilities. Does the land you have access to the utilities that you need? And there's really 3 in particular that you need. So there's electricity, there's water, and there's wastewater or sewage. So let's start first with electricity. You really either have it or you don't. Hopefully you have access to electricity from the property, and hopefully the county will give you access or the city will give you access. And then you need to first check as well, what are requirements to get the kind of power that you need to run an RV park. So hopefully you have access, and this is a big must because it's not something you can easily get elsewhere. You either have it or you don't. Now the next thing is water, which is also a big must as well. Hopefully you get it from the city or the county as well. It is possible to dig a well and get water from that, although it is really hard to do that. You have to regulate the water, and also a lot of times you may not get enough water to build for an RVs. So that's also one I don't recommend as well. So in general, these are like the 2 big things you really have to have: electricity and water from either the county or the city. Without it, it's very difficult to build an RV park. Now, the last important utility is wastewater or sewage. Now, hopefully, if you're lucky, you can get it from the city or the county, but in most scenarios, most RV parks don't have that access. Most RV parks have what's known as like a septic system, which is like a treatment center for wastewater, essentially. And you have your own septic system or your own wastewater treatment center in your own park. And it's all underground, and it typically takes up half an acre to an acre underground. And there you can have your own system. So that is the one utility that you can really kind of do yourself. It is a little costly, but if you have the other two things, and the septic thing is kind of something that's manageable. And most RV parks have a septic system, and they don't have the city utilities for wastewater. And factor number 5 is the size. Now, in general, for RV parks, the bigger the better. That's just the way it's always been. And there's a lot that goes into bringing all the utilities, and it is a big upfront cost. So you need to be able to build enough pads as well. And typically per acre, you can build 4 to 8 RV pads per acre, and it really just depends on how dense you want to be. But generally the better parks are a little less dense. And so you have to kind of think about that in your size. And so because of that, I would say you need a minimum of 5 acres, ideally closer to 10, and in a perfect world you have 20 plus for an RV park, because you want to have a little bit of space between your RVs. And so size is a big factor, and I definitely recommend anything 10 plus. 20 is the most ideal, because then you can add like amenities as well. So I would say 10, minimum is 5 to kind of get started, but even 5 is a huge stretch. So these are the 5 factors that really determine if your land is ideal for an RV park. RV parks are a big investment, so it is definitely worth spending the time to see if your land has feasibility for an RV park. So if you think I missed anything, do me a favor, comment in the comment section down below. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content, as I'm going to have more content on land coming to you soon. Bye.